we all doing today? Me? I've had a topic on my mind that I feel like I have to address it. As you all probably know by now, Interstellar's coming out this week in a wide release, and me being a fan of Christopher Nolan, I'm really excited to see it. And I've looked at the Rotten Tomatoes score for it. As of right now, it's 74% positive, and that's a pretty positive rating, but it has made me wonder, how come it's this high? There's a few questions on my mind when it comes to this. Since Dark Knight Rises wasn't exactly as perfect as Dark Knight, are people really just going to give Nolan so much crap now that he didn't make an exactly perfect movie? Not every movie is perfect. Some no movie is perfect, but for me, only a few movies are flawless. Very few in my opinion. And Rotten Tomatoes, a lot of people have problems with RottenTomatoes.com. They think, oh, it's just whatever, or no, that's the go-to, or whatever. Me, I take stuff like that with a grain of salt, because while I do use it as a reference point, I don't really think Rotten Tomatoes is the end-all. It's just a website where it gathers a whole bunch of opinions from critics and audience members. It gives you a general consensus of how the movie is. Now, I haven't seen Interstellar yet, but I'm really excited to see it because I think Christopher Nolan's a great director. I haven't seen all of his movies. The movies I still have yet to see, aside from Interstellar, are Memento and Insomnia. Prestige is really good. The Dark Knight trilogy, it's the Dark Knight trilogy. And Inception, which I thought was terrific. But that being said, though, I don't think everything about his movies are perfect. The Batman Begins maybe could have had a little more emphasis on the villains, because the villains weren't as, like, mind-blowingly awesome as the Joker was. Nothing against Liam Neeson. He did a really good job in the role. Spoiler alert for Batman Begins if you haven't seen it yet. I'm so sorry if I spoiled it for you. Dark Knight and Inception, I think, are one of the very few films on the planet, at least to me, that are perfect and have no flaws. Dark Knight Rises is a great conclusion. Not as good as Dark Knight, but that does not mean, and I repeat, that does not mean that it's a terrible movie. And in my opinion, Rises is so much better than people care to give it credit for. And Prestige is really good too. I just watched that for the first time recently. One thing I've noticed with Nolan's movies, they tend to be a bit confusing. They're really dense, they're really heavy, and you have to really pay attention to what's going on. Otherwise, you're going to get lost, especially with Inception. You're going to be like, whoa, wait a minute, stop right there. And from what I've read of some of the reviews, now mind you, I've taken this with a grain of salt, a lot of the reviews that I've read for Interstellar, or I've watched, like Schmoes Know and Jeremy Johns, they're saying, oh, it's convoluted, it's so hard to follow, there's so much stuff going on that it falls on its butt or something or other. I do understand some people's complaints with Christopher Nolan's movies, but you see, Nolan is a director who's not going to spoon-feed the audience. He's one of the few filmmakers left today who will explain certain things, but he's also one of those guys who's going to leave things open to interpretation, who allows the audience to come up with their own conclusion, which I think sometimes works better. Like, for instance, and this has been blown way out of proportion in my opinion, how did Bruce Wayne get back into Gotham City? I don't know, and I don't care. As far as how much time he had, if you pay attention, before he makes it out of the pit, Lucius Fox tells the Special Forces guy the bomb's going off in 23 days. That's 3 weeks and 2 days. Not a day, not 2 hours, 3 weeks and 2 days. He had plenty of time to get back. He traveled around the world for 7 years in Batman Begins. There's no reason why he can't do that again. There's absolutely no reason why he can't do that again. I'll explain that in a future video down the road, but to paraphrase what Chris Stuckman said in one of his earlier videos, like when he reviewed Star Wars, a lot of times filmmakers, and I would say even audiences today, forget that you don't necessarily have to explain everything. You don't always need an explanation. Sometimes things are best left up to your interpretation. You don't have to know every single detail. It's all left up to the audience's imagination, and I think that works a lot better sometimes. And another thing that bothers me is that because the reviews aren't exactly A+ or 5 out of 5 stars, whatever, a lot of people are flipping out about that, especially Nolan fans. Now look, I'm a Nolan fan, and like I said, I don't think everything about his movies are perfect. But look, we all have an opinion, we all have different perspectives, none of us are really wrong. It's just a matter of perspective, like Obi-Wan said, from a certain point of view. But regardless, I do use Rotten Tomatoes as a reference point, like I did with X-Men Days of Future Past, for example. Once the reviews started coming in for that, they were pretty positive. The score went down a little bit, but then it rose back up to 91%, and I think that's the way it is now if I remember correctly. But like I said, we all have different opinions. Whatever the Rotten Tomatoes score is, it's not going to matter to me. And it shouldn't matter to you either. If you're excited to see a movie, don't let other people's opinions dictate your own opinion. Now, I myself have had that kind of problem where a lot of people have the opposite opinion of one movie that I feel the opposite on. But regardless, that's what you have to deal with, because we all have different opinions, right? But also, the Schmoes Know, for example, or Jeremy Johns, they're getting a lot of hate from Nolan fans. If you're really excited about Interstellar, and if you watch those reviews, just listen to what they're saying, consider their opinion, take it with a grain of salt, and go into the movie, watch it, and then when you're done, decide for yourself if you agree with them or not. Pretty much all I gotta say about this topic, because this has been making me wonder for quite a while. Whatever the score is on Rotten Tomatoes for Interstellar, if it's going to go up or if it's going to go down or if it's just going to stay in the same area, I'm still going to go see it because I think it looks really good. So for anyone who's watching, comment below, tell me what you think about this topic. Do you agree with me? Do you not? Stay tuned next time.